Shout out to the CEO office, my good friend Mel. I got these mantra bands. I'll put the link in the description. Gentle reminders of how you want to show up in this world. Hi guys, welcome back. Happy Monday. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so glad you're here with me. I am Natasha Joy, your favorite thought partner, navigating life with God. Listen, life is lifing and you don't have to do this alone. I am happy to report back that I have had a great week this week. Thank you guys for the messages, for the support. Thank you for watching last week's episode. If you have not done so already, please subscribe. I promise that every subscription I vow to become better and better every week for you guys. So subscribe and join the community. Let's get into this week. I want to talk about failure. I have been thinking a lot about Lot's wife. And if you don't know the story of Lot's wife, it is in Genesis 19. It starts around verses 23 and wraps up at 29. So if you have some time, go ahead on your own and read that. But a little summary, God has told Lot to leave his city of Sodom and Gomorrah because he will destroy it. And Lot is obedient and packs up his daughters and his wife and all his things and starts to leave. However, on their journey out, Lot's wife turns around and looks back. And as she looks back, she turns into salt. Lot's wife's story has been in the back of my head all week because as we're on this journey of trying new things, it will be Hey mom, I'm recording. Can I call you back?
Alright, no problem.
Alright. Because as we're on this journey of trying new things, there will be moments where you will feel as though you should go back to your old ways, or you should try something that you've done already that did not show the results that you've wanted. There will be those moments where you will slip back and fall back into bad habits. And when those times happen, we have to be cognizant of when we're falling back into our old ways, when we're tempted by things that have clearly shown us in our lives that we don't need to be around them, or have these people in our lives. Today I want to talk about failure, and I want to talk about how to overcome failure. Failure is as simple as striving for something and it not working out. It has happened to everyone in life. If it has not happened to you, then you need to work on living a more abundant life. Failure indicates that you are reaching for something, either within your bounds or out of your bounds, but you are reaching for something. We don't talk about failure enough in a way that is empowering. And I think a lot of times people don't talk about failure because failure oftentimes comes with shame and guilt. So you rarely have these conversations with close ones or colleagues about failure. But lucky for you, I'm here and we are going to unabashedly talk about failure with the idea that with the notion that we are not going to look back. In order to understand that you have failed at something, you have to have a pulse on your life. And what I mean by pulse on your life is you have a list of things that you want to get done, right? You have a list of things that you want to have. And you start to go after those things, whether it's weight loss, a relationship, a job offer, a new degree, but these are the things you're trying to attain. And as you're trying to attain them, you are realizing in the moment when things are failing. If you cannot acknowledge that things are not going well, it will be hard to learn from your failure. Acknowledging that you have failed isn't a sign of weakness, but a sign of empowerment, because once you acknowledge that you failed, we can now start to talk about at what point did you fail. That's when you can start to write the blueprint to how you're going to overcome the failure and get better at it. But the hardest part is acknowledging that you've failed and what your role is in the failure. Some things end, I agree, that's beyond us. But again, in order for you to decide whether the failure was about you or about things outside of your control, you have to acknowledge the failure. You must. It is in your benefit. I know that's a hard thing, but oftentimes the hardest decisions are the right ones to make. Keeping a journal and identifying the moments that led to the failure, unbiased, just straight facts. Not feelings, but facts of the matter that led to the failure can help you to identify at what point were you a role in the failure. Be easy on yourself. Again, plenty people fail. And failure is merely a point for us to realize we need to change something. And you are capable of changing it. What you need is to acknowledge what the change needs to be and then start the journey of forming new habits and creating the character trait. We talked about this last week. What is the character trait that you need in order to do this again, but in a way that brings out your desired results? Being afraid of failure will stop you from the opportunity of achieving greatness. It will. If you continue to play it safe or not try again, it's as though you don't believe in your capabilities. In my experience as an educator, a coach, a leader, I've noticed with talking to people about goals and attaining goals, the difference between people who succeed in meeting those goals and the ones who don't succeed is in their ability to persevere. It's in their ability to pivot. It's in their ability to fall off of a plan, but then resume the plan shortly after. All of these adaptations occur when you are pursuing a dream. I can't stress that enough, because I do feel like in today's society, there is this microwave idea that once I say I want something, I should have it immediately. And if I work a week on it, or 2 weeks on it, or even 3 weeks on it, why don't I have it? Why don't I see change? Change is happening as we are doing, whether we see it or not. And if you are married to this idea that you have to see this change immediately, then yes, your stamina for change will be low. But if you go into it with an idea of, I am going to be relentless and I'm going to work at this because I'm committed, and we understand that long commitment for a long amount of time begins to show progress. That's the difference between being defeated by failure and then excelling after a moment of failure. I have failed plenty of times, especially early on in my career. As a teacher, as a school leader, I have had moments where my plan wasn't successful. I vividly remember being a teacher. That was probably my favorite role in my career path, and I taught first grade. And every year I would assess my children because their success was a measure of my teaching ability. And around the last year of my teaching, I realized that I didn't give my students a skill they needed when it came to problem solving in math. And as I sat there and dealt with that epiphany, I started to immediately make a plan for my next set of students that I would have next year. And I started to think about, well, what do I need to teach more to get students to critically think about problem solving in this way? What's wrong? So as I'm thinking about what I need to change, and I'm researching problem solving skills, and I'm researching what students need cognitively, they need to develop in order to solve complex two-step word problems, I'm approached with another opportunity. And at that point, the opportunity was to leave the classroom and begin working with teachers. Sometimes the solutions to our failure is not what we think. I had no intentions on leaving the classroom. I thought I was going to retire as a teacher. That has always been my passion, is children and babies and learning, and the idea of keeping a spark, keeping a fire going in children and making sure that they are equipped with the skills necessary to critically think in this world. But God had other plans, and I accepted the role of being a school leader without a full heart. But I knew that instead of impacting the lives of 30 students, I now had the opportunity to impact 500 students. Because if I can get through to teachers who are in front of students. So now we're talking about widening my range of impact. There will be moments when the solutions to your failure won't be what you desire. I encourage you to be open to the times when God is trying to help you along your journey. Firm, solid believer in allowing unexpected events to shift us. Aren't you proud of me? I'm proud of me. Very proud of me. I'm proud of you guys who come here every week. I'm proud of you guys who are in my DMs. I'm proud of you guys who are sending me messages about how you can sustain this change or how much of a better person you want to be, whether it's for yourself, your relationships, for your career. That desire already puts you in a better position. But don't look back. Please do not look back. I promise you. I beg you, please do not look back to your past ways. Do not look back. To be honest, the only time I would tell you to look back is to gather data so that you can move better forward. That's it. So be honest with yourself. I talked about this last week. Am I in my own way? Am I the weapon forming against me? You should have an answer for that. This week, I want you to start back the thing. You know, the thing that you're supposed to be working on? I've been talking about this. It's been on my heart. Whatever that thing that you're supposed to start that God has placed in your heart, I want you to get back to it. I want you to do it every day, and every day I want you to be 1% better, 2% better. You can be a lot better, but a little bit better than you did yesterday. And if you skip a day, I don't want the skip day to turn into a skip week. I want you to go back the next day and start again. But understand that failure is not definitive. Failure is an indication of where you need to be better. Don't feel bad about anything that hasn't happened, any failures, and don't allow people to shame you for failures. That's your journey. It's nobody else's. It's your journey. It's your character traits that you're developing. It's your victory. Listen, the hotter the battle, the sweeter the victory. You've earned this victory. And that's where confidence comes in. That's where confidence comes from. So if you're wondering how people are able to do these type of things, because they've failed multiple times and then they've turned around and won. So now they have confidence in themselves that they can overcome. That's where confidence comes. Confidence comes from the stream of overcoming failure, from knowing that I'm going to figure this out. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you fight for, it's something you build, it's a character trait, it's your history, it's your faith, it's you knowing. I know this about myself because I've done it before, so I know I can do it again. I've given you a lot. If you watch my previous videos, I've given you a lot of information as far as how to get closer to God and how to find your purpose and how to pursue your purpose. But I also understand that you can be fully informed to the point where you are ineffective. So this week is not going to be a lot of talking from me. It's going to be more so a lot of actionable steps. We need action. This week is the week where you make actionable steps to the things you've learned. But have a great one. I'll see you guys next week. As always, love you, mean it. Bye.